Hi YouTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Christine, and in today's video we're going to talk about how to move to the UK very last minute as a EU citizen, because as you know, the transitional period is going to end about 2 weeks, so you have about 18 days left and then Brexit's actually going to happen. In this video I'm going to show you all the important steps you need to take to successfully move over to the UK. So yeah, Brexit's gonna happen in only 18 days, which means you have 17 days to pack your bags and move over here, because everything's gonna change and everything's gonna be a little bit harder from the 1st of January next year. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the rule's gonna be, but I read that they are thinking about like a points-based system like they have in Australia. So yeah, you would have to take probably take an English test or find a sponsor or something like that. So that's the other thing I read, that the government actually encourages companies to register as a sponsor or something like that, so they actually can bring employees from other countries into the UK after the 1st of January. So yeah, it's definitely not going to be as easy anymore as it is right now. Yeah, so I think at this point no one really exactly knows what's going to happen from January onwards, but yeah, it's definitely going to be harder than it is right now. It's not going to be as easy to move to the UK once they left the EU, and yeah, so if that's your plan, you should definitely pack your bags now, make that move within the next 2 weeks, just to be on the safe side, you know. So I myself just moved here last year in October. I live in London at the moment, and yeah, so I just recently went through all those things myself, and this is why I want to share my experience with you, and maybe I can give you some little tips and tricks how to get some things sorted a little bit faster and a little bit more efficient, because yeah, I'm German, so we love efficiency, right? Yeah, and in this video we're gonna go through all the steps you need to take to successfully settle in the UK and start a new life here. Alright, the number one thing you have to keep in mind is that you need to be in the UK on the 30th of December, not the 31st. You need to be here on the 30th, because you need to be in the country for 24 hours to make this your permanent residency, okay? Also, please be aware, when you Google information about how to move here, there is a lot of scammers out there. There's a lot of websites that actually charge you for services that are usually free. Like, let's say, apply for your national insurance number or something like that. I know, because a friend of mine, it actually happened to a friend of mine, they tried to charge her, I think it was like 36 euros or something. I mean, it's 36 euros, but I mean, it's still unnecessary because it is usually free. So please make sure you don't fall into this trap of the scammers, okay? When you Google it, always use the official UK government website, which is www.gov.uk, okay? Make sure you always use that, because that's the official website. That's where you find all the official information, and it's a very good website actually. So they show you step by step what you need to do. So everything we're going to cover in this video, most of those informations you will find on this website too, okay? When it goes about the official things like the national insurance number, your settlement status, those kind of things, okay? Also, there's a few things you can already get sorted while you're still at home, in whatever country you live at the moment, so you don't really have to wait to get things rolling until you're actually here. There are quite a few things you can sort out while you're still at home. Right, so after you booked your flight, the first thing you want to take care of is finding a place to stay, finding a new home in the UK, wherever in this country you want to move to. So yeah, there's two ways to find a home. So the first option obviously is Airbnb. I'm sure everybody knows Airbnb. So yeah, that's what I did when I moved here. Last year I booked myself an Airbnb for the first month. because I knew I'm gonna move to London and I knew I would move here, but I didn't know what area I'm gonna live in and where I'm gonna work or where my friends are gonna be or whatever, you know. So I think you're just like a little bit more flexible having an Airbnb than actually renting a place right from the start, you know, because you're probably gonna come here without a job and everything, so you don't want to live in, don't know, like in South London, but you work in North London, so and then you have to commute every day. I mean, once the offices are open again, you have to commute like an hour or so you don't want to do this. So yeah, that's what I suggest. Try to find an Airbnb for the first month. But there is one thing that you should check before you actually book it. Check with the host if it's okay for her or him to receive your mail, because you also want to get your bank account and your phone sorted before you actually come here. So you basically, you want to hit the ground running right when you get here. You don't want to sort out those little bits when you get here. Yeah, that really shouldn't be like a big problem, because the mail here literally comes through a slit in the door, so no one actually has to go to the letterbox or something and check for your mail. So, but yeah, just this little thing, check with your host first if it's okay for them to receive your mail, so you can take care of all those other things, you know. Your second option would be go on spareroom.co.uk and try to find like a real long-term room, you know. So Spare Room is the most popular website here, where everybody posts if they have a free room in their house or apartment. This is how I found my current room at the moment. This is how everybody I know finds their place to live, so that would be an option. I actually think your chances should be pretty good to find a room on Spare Room at the moment, to be honest, because a lot of people actually went back to their hometowns or home countries, and I know there's a lot of free rooms here at the moment. And yeah, maybe you're lucky and you find someone who can just have a chat with you through Zoom or something, because most of the time obviously your future housemates will want to get to know you before you actually move in. But yeah, that would be one option. These are your two options. If you just want to find something short term, go on Airbnb. If you're ready and you know where you're gonna move exactly, what area you're gonna stay in, then go on Spare Room and yeah, find a room. So what I recommend is though, have a look at the tube map, yeah, because for public transport, London is divided into different zones, okay? So the zone 1 is central London, and then the further you go out, the higher the zone, obviously. And I recommend not to move further out than zone 3, okay? Because the further out you move, first of all, your commute's going to take forever, and then secondly, it's going to be more expensive, obviously. So the more zones you go through, the more expensive it is, the public transport here. So yeah, try to find something. I think like 2 or 3 is reasonable. It's still relatively close to the city, so it's not going to take you ages. I live in zone 2, and it takes me about 20 minutes to go to central London. Yeah, it's really quick. Public transport is amazing here. It's super easy. But yeah, that's something you should consider, okay, when you're trying to find a place, not further out than zone 3. Right, so the next thing you can get sorted before you actually come here is your phone. So your SIM card. I recommend Smarty. I've been with them for the past 12 months. Yeah, they run on the O2 network, which is, yeah, from my own experience, I think it's great. I never had any issues. I always have reception, and obviously they're super cheap. This is why I recommend them. So I lived in different countries. I don't know how it is in your country, but in Australia or Canada or the States, is so expensive. It's ridiculous. But yeah, with Smarty, I pay £10 a month and I have 30 gig of data. All the national phone calls are free and text messages are free as well. So yeah, and I think it's £20 for unlimited data. So I mean, what else do you need, really? Yeah, so they have this referral program. When you sign up with them and your recommended friend, then your next month and your friend's first month is going to be free. So yeah, I'm going to leave my link down below. So if you use that, your first month with Smarty is going to be free, and I get a month for free as well. So it's a win-win. Alright, so the next thing you want to do while you're still at home is getting your bank account sorted. It's very helpful if you have a UK bank account already, because then you can obviously transfer your money over here before you're actually here in person, you know, so that helps, especially with the different currency. And yeah, you don't have to pay transaction fees and stuff if you use your current bank card from home, you know. There's 3 major online banks that I recommend. The first one is Monzo. I'm personally with them. I'm really happy. Never had any issues. Yeah, I think most people here are actually with Monzo. The second one is called Starling. I think that's relatively new, but yeah, it's the same principle as Monzo. And then you have Revolt. This is the third one. Yeah, any of those bank accounts is really fine. Yeah, just open any of them. It's a little bit harder to get a bank account with a British bank here that actually has a branch, because usually when you want to open a bank account with, let's say Metro Bank or Barclays or something, they're gonna ask you for your address history, and they want to see like a 3-year address history. God knows why, but yeah, that's what they usually want to see. And since you're going to be new here, you're not going to have that. So go with any of those 3 online banks. Alright, so those last 2 things, your SIM card and your bank account, is the reason why I told you, if you decide to go with Airbnb, check with your host that you can receive your mail there. Because obviously you can apply for it from your home country, but they're going to send you your SIM card and your bank card to your current address in the UK. Alright, now we're gonna get to that stuff that you can only do once you're here. The first thing you want to do once you're here, you want to call this phone number and apply for your national insurance number. As a EU citizen, you're automatically entitled to get a national insurance number in the UK once you're here, because there's only 3 requirements. So the first one is you live here, which you do because you've already entered the country with the intent to live here, right? The second one is that you come here on a valid visa, which you don't need. And the third one is that you have the right to work, and you do have this until the 31st of December. So what I would recommend is, because the 31st, I think, is a Thursday, if you make it here on Wednesday, try to call them on Wednesday, okay? Because I'm not exactly sure how they want to prove later on that you've been here before Brexit happened. But this application, because they're going to send you a letter, this application is going to be proof that you've been in the country before Brexit actually happened. So once you call them, what's going to happen is they're just going to ask you for your passport details. They're going to ask you if you want to stay here, when you got here, all those kinds of things. And then they ask you for your current address. Alright, before you call them, you need to sort out one thing. Because they want to see a proof of address. Alright, so there's 2 options for you, actually. Option number 1 is you have a friend that already lives here and that has like phone bills, utility bills, a rental agreement, anything with their address on it. Then your friend can simply write you a letter saying, my friend so-and-so lives with me in this and this address since this and this date whenever you arrived, okay? So this is option number 1. So that counts as proof of address. The second option is, this is why it would be helpful to have a bank account before you actually move here, because then you can just use the address, your UK address, that you applied for the bank account with. You can use your bank statement as your proof of address. Those are the two options. When they ask you for your address, make sure that you provide the address that you can actually bring a proof of address for when you have that in-person interview, okay? So what's going to happen is, as I said, they're going to ask you for all those details, and then they will give you a appointment at the closest job center where you have to go to this in-person interview. But honestly, it sounds more scary than it actually is. You just go there, you talk to that person, bring your passport, bring that proof of address, okay? And she's just gonna tick the boxes with you, gonna fill out this application with you in person, literally. Checks your passport number, when you got here, all those details that you actually already provided on the phone. They just double check it with your passport, and yeah, that's basically it. And then it takes, I think it took for me like 2 weeks or something, and then I got a letter in the mail with my national insurance number. That's it. I'm not sure if they actually provide those numbers at the moment, if they actually give you an appointment, because I know it was paused due to Corona. But from what I heard, they opened again, so you might get lucky. Don't worry, even if they cannot give you a national insurance number at the moment, or an appointment or whatever, you can still start working, okay? You can still look for a job. It's not a big deal, honestly. The only downside is that you, as long as you don't have this national insurance number, or you can't provide it to your employer, then you will pay a little bit more taxes. But later on you get this back. So it's really not a big deal. Alright, so the second thing I recommend doing once you're there is apply for your pre-settlement status. Okay, so once you get this, you are guaranteed to be able to continue to work and live here after June 2021. Okay, so you basically have time to apply for it till June, but I don't know, me personally, I like to get all those formalities out of the way as soon as possible. Every EU citizen is automatically eligible for the pre-settlement status as soon as you've been in the country for 24 hours, okay? That's why I told you you should be here on the 30th of December, not the 31st. So you will get pre-settlement status, which allows you to stay here for 5 years, and then after 5 years, you can apply for settlement status, okay? All right, so how do you apply for it? You actually go on that website I mentioned before, gov.uk, the official government website. Just type in pre-settlement status, okay? So that brings you to this little mask, and you have to fill out like a little questionnaire with like personal details and stuff. So once you're done with this, the details on the website, they ask you to download an app. The app is called EU Exit ID Document Check. I'm gonna put this down in the comment box below as well. And yeah, you just download this, and this is gonna guide you through basically. So within the app, it reads out your passport, like this little chip on your passport. Actually, I found this so freaky, honestly. So you put down your phone, and they ask you to put your passport on top, and then it just reads this out. I mean, it's kind of creepy, isn't it? Anyway, so you have to do this. You take a photo of yourself, yeah, and all those like other things. It guides you through, you know, so it's nothing crazy. And then once you've done this, yeah, you're done with the application, and then it takes a few weeks, and then you'll get an email which tells you that you get pre-settlement status, and that's it. So it's really easy, straightforward. There's nothing crazy about it. So I've seen this in like a lot of Facebook groups actually, where people apply for their settlement status or pre-settlement status, and they wonder how they're going to prove this after 1st of January, because you're not going to get a card or a letter or anything. You really only have this email, and that's it, okay? So, but yeah, don't worry about this. So this is all like registered online. They can look this up at the border, so they will see it. So if they read out your passport, they will see that you have pre-settlement status, so you don't have to worry. Even if you leave the country after January, I don't know, if you want to go home for whatever, a birthday or something, yeah, you don't have to worry. Once this is granted, you will always like be able to come back in. Okay, and as I said, you can apply for this until the 30th of June next year. And then yeah, that's basically it. So you have an address, you have a phone or a SIM card, you have a bank account, you have your national insurance number, and you have your pre-settlement status. And that's basically all you need to be legally allowed here to stay and to start a new life in the UK. That's it. Then when you've done with all of this, obviously you will have to look for a job and all those kind of things. Alright, here is my number one tip when you look for a job. Okay, so go on Indeed and type in whatever your native language is and search for jobs where they specifically look for candidates that speak another language. Okay, this will always be an advantage, and it makes it so much easier finding a job over here, because as in most English speaking countries, they do not speak a second language. They learn it at school, but because they never use it, yeah, they don't speak a second language. So yeah, this is my number one tip, and it always worked for me no matter in what country I lived in. Alright, so yeah, that's basically all you need to know and all the steps to get settled over here in the UK. Within the last couple of weeks before Brexit's actually gonna happen. As I said, I leave all the links in the description box below. I hope this video was helpful for you, and maybe you learned something that you didn't know before. I wish you all the success in the world with your new adventures over here in the UK. So please let me know in the comments below if you're actually going to make the move over to the UK within the last couple of days before Brexit's happening. And also please leave me suggestions of future videos you want to see on my channel. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please leave me a thumbs up if you like my video and subscribe to my channel for more videos to come. Bye!